G'day, my name's Chris, and in a moment you're about to see a video that my patron saw earlier this year. So if you're interested in like video editing, behind the scenes, how to put together videos concerning maybe electric vehicles, renewables, news, and all that sort of stuff, do consider joining over here on Patreon, where you get all this and a lot more from as little as $2.50 per month. That's like 60 cents per week. So today's video is going to be about how to actually manage your files in Final Cut Pro. And let me tell you, speaking from personal experience, it is truly frustrating when this thing corrupts your work and you lose it. You do everything you possibly can to not make that happen, but at the end of the day, this is software and it is fallible, and it does fail greatly. So much so that I've actually stopped a project. I've given up because I've lost so many hours of work because of Final Cut Pro and its file management system. So I'm going to teach you a method that is one very simple to execute, and importantly is actually foolproof with keeping your files safe. So let's start a new project and I'll talk you through how we're going to organize things. Okay, we're going to do a video on, I don't know, how to do a car review. So I've shot some footage with talking head stuff. That's my A roll. I've taken some screen capture stuff. That's my B roll. I might also put some music on it. I might put some pictures and other stuff on it. So you take all those different things that you have and you put them into the following file structure. Here, this is my SSD drive. It's the Samsung T5. It's quite a reasonably priced and reasonably decent speed, fine for Final Cut Pro to actually work from. So I do all my primary work with using the Samsung SSD, and when I finish a project, I move it to a backup drive. So you can see here, I've currently got 4 different projects on it, but we're going to do a brand new one about how to do that, behind the scenes stuff for my MGZSE review. What we first of all do is I keep all my sort of transient files, shall we say, in my download section. And you can see here there's several different videos, and I've got one called section 1 and one's called portion 2. I don't know why I called them that, I just did. But I'm pretty certain section 1 is, let's have a quick look. That's my talking head stuff, and the number 2, just for example here, is going to be my B-roll stuff. So what I'm going to do is I've got this file management template, and this template is key along with 2 other steps which you'll hear about in a moment. This is where you're going to be putting your footage, your sounds, all other assets into, and you're going to actually tell Final Cut Pro to actually keep the files in place inside of this folder. Okay, that's the first key step. Don't ever actually copy them across to wherever Final Cut wants to put them, because it actually creates a lot of files when it does its work. Any transitions, any renders that it does is creating these brand new files, and your library can just become huge, massively huge, unless you're very good at every single time deleting the rendered files, deleting the optimized media. Your library, you're going to run out of space very fast. You really are. So first up, leave your files in place, and the way you do that is by, again, keeping stuff organized. So let's call this section 1 BTS as my A roll. Okay, so I'm going to bring this down here. And let's do the portion 2 as my B roll, and I'm just going to put it into B. Okay, and then we're going to call this my MG BTS video. We've got all our different assets in the one location. We're going to copy that and we're going to move it over to the Samsung drive, ready to work from. Perfect. Let's go over to Final Cut Pro now, and that's where we're actually going to start a brand new project. But importantly, that project's going to be a library where the project's going to be contained inside that folder, and I'll explain why that's important. Final Cut Pro here, nice blank canvas, so to speak. I just closed the library, that the last shot was that, so ignore that shot. Let's go over here, we'll go File, New, Library. Now, this library needs to be saved inside of that folder you have created, because Final Cut Pro is the most powerful file management system in the world. Not really, but you get the idea. Yes, it's very good at video editing, but also it has to be equally as good at managing all the files that you have. This library is going to be saved inside of my Samsung Drive, inside that folder. That way, later on, wherever I move this project to, it will actually know where to look for those files. Yeah, you're getting it now? So I'm just going to call this, you could call it the library whatever you wanted to, but I'm just going to call it again just so I can find it easier in the future. MGZS review behind the scenes BTS. Okay, so save that. Let's come back to the my Samsung Drive, and now if we jump inside of here, you can see, look, there it is. That's the library that we just created, and it's only 181 kilobytes in size. Great. Now we can import the media, and here's the second top tip that you need to adhere to. Leave files in place. That is seriously the most important thing here as well. And remembering, we need Final Cut Pro to be able to find this stuff easily in the future, and by keeping the files in place, it's not going to look in different and weird places. No, it's going to look inside these folders. We're going to go to the Samsung Drive, knowing that we've already got the stuff inside of here, and we're going to go to my MG review, and I could actually just choose this as a high level for the import. So pretend you've got sounds, and pretend you've got C-roll and drones and pickups and other assets. Final Cut is very good at organizing, and I would recommend people do this. If you've got folders already organized with that work, just again, leave files in place. That's important. Have your other settings as you normally would. So I always create optimized media and proxy media, and I would encode to, you can see those settings there, okay? You get the idea. Alright, so I'm going to import all, and now it's going to start the import process, but again, it's going to reference back into that folder. And in the future, when I close this project and I move it to another drive, when I open it up on the other drive, Final Cut Pro might say, hey, I'm a bit confused here. I was looking for a Samsung Drive and I was looking for this folder and I can't find it right now. And I'll show you what to do with that in a second, but again, don't let Final Cut Pro move files for you. Don't ever do it, because it's going to crash and it's going to corrupt your work and you're going to lose work. Conversely, if it does successfully move stuff, it always leaves little bits and pieces here, there, and everywhere, and your library just blows out to be massive, and you need to keep on buying disk after disk after disk. It becomes unmanageable. Alright, so this is currently importing, so I'm going to open up another project, and you can see what I mean as to how, well, it was saying to me, I don't understand where the file has gone. So let's do that. Okay, so here's my backup drive. Now this is it's a hard drive, it's 8 terabytes. It's got a few different versions of my previous library, one of which, as you can probably see there, might be corrupt. When I was doing a move recently with, I think, a very important project that I'd finished, thankfully, and published, in the move it crashed and I lost all that work. And that's when I used to actually just have the one big library, and I'll move a lot of projects into it. It was a mess, and I would not recommend you do that at all. So one of the more recent projects I've done with this new file management system is this one, say the news on the 21st to the 8th 21. So we open up here, again it's got the same file structure, so that helps you locate work later on. If you think to yourself, gee, I'd like to get some more b-roll of that thing that I did recently, yeah, I think I know where that is, and you can just drive to it here, quickly copy it and drop into your new project quite easily. Great, right? But let's open up this news from the 21st to the 8th 21. Okay, and just like that, it's now open. And in here, oh no, everyone's worst nightmare. It doesn't know where anything is, but that's okay. Remember, this is just, it wants to know where the files now live, because it used to be on the Samsung, but now it's on a different drive, on the Seagate drive. So all we have to do is this. We're going to go to File, we're going to relink files, the original media, because remember, everything's contained safely inside of there. And look at this. You can see here there's lots of files missing. It's not very happy with me. Okay, so I'm going to locate all, and I know it's on my Seagate drive, and I know it's on a thing called News 8, 21.8. So here we are on the Seagate drive, News 8 21.8. That's all I need to choose, just that folder. It's going to link them all, and you can see there they're all linked. And then just like magic, it comes good. No lost work, easy to manage. And get this, check this out. This library is only 23 megabytes. And that's because when I've finished something and I publish to YouTube, the very next thing that I do is I go to my file and I will delete all the generated library assets. I get rid of the renders, I get rid of the optimize, and I get rid of the proxy, because again, I'm most likely not going to come back to this. And if I did need to reuse it in another project, I'm not going to leave it here. No, I'm going to copy it to that new folder that we created earlier. Okay, so this has been a huge saving for me. It means that my work doesn't get lost, doesn't get corrupt, and you don't get those nasty yellow exclamation marks which means to say that you've lost files. It's the worst feeling in the world, and it's not good. So do hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, consider subscribing, give me a thumbs up, or maybe even support me over on Patreon, where you get all this sort of content a lot more regularly, and yeah, it does help support the channel and all the stuff that I do here. And otherwise, please, if you've got a question or comment, whack it down below. I do actually look at them and I might respond to them, who knows. Otherwise, please be good and be green.